Hi, welcome. My name is Pam. I am with Silver and Sparkles, and I am a guest designer here for Pink Monarch Prints. Thanks, Anna and Elena, for having me. So I have made us a fun project using the August 2025, it's called Minty Lush subscription kit. So what I have here are some nice I guess snippet strips. I usually make my snippet rolls and snippet strips, I don't know, maybe about 1.5 inches wide, and I decided to do something a little different and make these 3 inches wide. And I used elements from the kit. I added pockets and flips and just some beautiful pieces, and I love how they turned out. So I've made them different sizes, and as you can see, with snippets, you can always just cut off whatever portion you want to use. And with these wide ones, I'm thinking this is going to make a fabulous in a journal. Let's see if I have one of my journals that I can reach. You could use this. Everything's flying out. We could cut off just a section and we could add it to a page and glue it down so it's a nice side pocket like that. We could do just a portion and make it a tuck, a decoration. You can make it be, some type of flip for a page, just all kinds of things. So I could use it as a belly band, pretty wide one. So anyway, I hope you like these ideas. You can also cut off, a section and make it into a tag, put it on the front of a card. Just, let your imagination go wild. What I love doing these is they come together for me because I love making them fairly quickly, and I work really hard not to really overthink the process and just have fun with it. So we'll get started and I'll show you hopefully a few tips and tricks. One thing for me that makes this whole process fun is to go ahead and have quite a few of the elements that I want to work with. Now, I am often known for making these with my scraps, and that is super fun too because you can really just not overthink it at all. But these large kits, in my mind, really just lend themselves to this type of project because we can have a bunch of elements, and I'm just showing you, I already have a lot of things cut out that we can just start pulling from and not overthink it. Everything coordinates so well, it just makes it a fun, crafty kind of day. So I printed some of the background pages and then just chopped it into 3-inch wide strips. And I left part of, like when you print it and you get the back, the white around it. I didn't worry about it. I left it there because I can use that to attach my strips. So what I like doing is doing at least 2 or 3, and you do get kind of a long piece you're working with. But for me, what happens is I don't just kind of stay in boxed in. Maybe that's the way to put it. So I am going to add some glue just to this white area so I have a nice overlap, and I'm just going to glue 2 together, and maybe for purposes of the video we'll do 2 right now so that hopefully it can stay in screen and you can see what I'm doing. The top and the bottom, I am gonna go ahead and just snip off the white since I'm just gonna do 2 right now. And you can do a really long one, you can roll it up like a snippet roll, you can just do the strips, anything you want to do to make this your own. This was the page that had like the faux washi on it, and I know mine is 3 inches wide, so I'm just going to chop this at 3 inches and use it right here again to reinforce where I have attached it. And again, if they're not perfect, like I see right here, they're a little off, I'm gonna just chop it off, and no one will be the wiser. I am going to use some of my Distress ink. This is Walnut Stain. And we're just going to start having some crafty fun. You can make this, like I said, with any papers you have, any kits, scraps, scrap of paper, whatever makes you happy. And just have a good time. Okay, so now I don't have that white piece kind of glaring at me. I know I want to do one of the pockets, and it doesn't really matter, again, which one I choose. They will all look wonderful. I think I'm going to go with this to have a little bit of contrast. Now, these were right at 3 inches wide. I trimmed them just a smidge on the sides so that I knew they would fit on my strip really well. I'm just going to put this one about right here. But they probably would have fit anyway, but it just made me feel a little bit better. Oh, and I definitely know I want to do at least one flip. We can put it at the top or just in the middle. So these are, I think, for waterfalls, and they would be great. You could do the waterfalls on here. Ooh, let's do the bird. This is some of the specimen slides that are in the kit. There are just so many wonderful elements. And I love getting to work with Pink Monarch's kits. I have been a subscriber, I think since the beginning. So it's just such a privilege to then get to share some of my ideas with you guys on their channel as well. I could have scored this. I just decided to eyeball where it is going to fold. I'm gonna round the corners just because I can, and I think that will look cute. I think on the other one, I left one square and one I decided to round the corners on. This bird is so pretty. I have not yet even inked the actual strip itself, so let's give it a touch of ink. And so once I have all the pieces cut and ready to go, I almost think of this like a mask make. You can just sit, especially if you don't let yourself get caught up in the trap of overthinking where you're going to put all your pieces. Because, like I said, everything looks so great together. You don't really have to. All right, so I'm going to, I definitely want to put something back here so I could do one of the large fussy cuts would be pretty, maybe a birdhouse. Why don't we do that? And we could also do, and I think I did on one of them, one of the journaling cards that has some lines on it for some journaling space. That's fun. It's just, I'm going to kind of offset it there. And maybe we'll put one of these beside it just to give it that fun little surprise when you lift it up. Cuteness. So cute. And I went through on mine and just randomly made choices about where to add a little bit of ribbon, because if you ever visit me on my channel, you know I love some ribbon, and it just really makes me happy. And I have a bunch of little pieces that I think coordinate with this kit. So I'm gonna tie that on. So sweet. All right, now let's go ahead and pick something to go in this pocket. And see, once I start throwing things around, well, all bets are off, because they'll get mixed up. But it doesn't really matter if, oh, that's not round, that's like a little angle. If the fussy cuts mix up with the square cards, it really is okay. All right, decided to just go ahead and snip those corners. And I'm going to punch a little hole right there. Now we could glue two back to back, put this on printed on both sides. That would have worked as well. You know, whatever, again, whatever kind of makes you happy, but I'm just gonna stick it in there like this for now, but it would be a little more finished if you did that. And we will see how cute this looks. Very sweet. Let's pick, I love that stamp. I'm going to save it though for somewhere else. Get a little more contrast on the pocket. And I don't really worry about the back side because most of these for me will end up in a journal. But if I decide I want to use it as a bookmark, or I can always decorate the back or cover the back later. But I like having things hang off the sides somewhere. Oh, here they are. Let's say I knew I had cut out some of the pre-made collages, which always are fun to work with because they already have like words and little numbers, and you can just plop them down, and it's really, I think, a nice touch. I think I'd already inked this one. So let's put this one right here. And some of them I had hang off quite a bit. So it really just, again, it depends on your mood and what you think you would like. I definitely know I want to put some words. How about you make me smile? It is, I don't know when this will be up on the channel, but this one, it's actually, I'm making this on August 1st. My husband and I are leaving for vacation, and I had a few minutes, and I wanted to go ahead and get this over to Elena and Anna so they could decide when they want to use it. So you guys are, as I'm playing with the brand new kit, I bet a bunch of you are too. It's so fun. All right, I'm going to keep going. And again, this is where I really have to stay disciplined. If I want to not overthink it. For some reason, I like this, but this, I think because I'm thinking about leaving for vacation here very, very soon. And maybe this suitcase will be fun. Maybe I'll put in here as a reminder to me when I look at this one. You were prepping for vacay. Get it straight. So sweet. All right. Of course I keep putting things underneath where we won't see them. I'm trying to decide. I don't want I think it's like a peach. I don't want it upside down. And I'm wanting a little more contrast. So I think I'm going to pick maybe a different fussy cut. But done. All right, those will look cute right there. Boop. And I'm trying to think of other ways I have used these. Oh, yeah. So when I'm ready, like I need a quick birthday card or a quick thinking of you card, right? Or instead of just sending a regular letter, I'm not really big on just sending out letters, but I will send my friends things like this with a quick note. Not the best letter writer always. But these are perfect because, again, I can just cut off a little section, plop it on to a card, and ready to go. And I didn't really have to sit necessarily and think about designing a card and coming up with a bunch of, you know, a bunch of different things. So things to think about and how you can use these. Some things I had already inked. So it's going a little quicker. Let's put, I kind of want to do something. Oh, I know. They're right here. There's these tickets. So let's cut out one of these. A lot of times, like I said, I cut all the pieces out and then I'll leave some of these types of things like the words or whatever in some of the strips, just because it is a touch easier. Looking for my little stub. Here it is. Punch. It's just a touch easier sometimes to find things when not everything is super tiny small. Now, if you don't have a stub punch, you can just use your scissors, but that definitely, the little punch works. Something I've had in my stash for a long time. All right, I'm going to bring that kind of up and over. Not sure. Well, I said up and then I put glue on the whole thing, so I'll barely bring it up. I'll try not to get glue everywhere. All right. That looks good. And I did want this stamp. See, and I like to get them like super layered. So I just kind of keep going and I don't even worry about it. So let's just stick the stamp down right there. I want to put something in this section. So I haven't done the specimen card, but I did this on one of the others. Let's do a larger circle. And, you know, we'll lose a little bit, but this is a, what is this? Is this the, this is the 2.5 inch circle. All right. I think that looks pretty good. There we go. It's so big, it's sometimes hard to hold that in my hand. Okay, so I have some circles here. Let's bring these over to this side and maybe this shape and some more ribbon. Might be cute. I like that. Let's go ahead and get it down. I'm going to leave. Not going to put glue on this section because I don't want it to glue to my table. This is one of my, like I said, one of my favorite types of crafting because very quickly things just really start to pop and I think look beautiful. I think I have, yeah, just a little piece of green. Now I could use my slot punch again. I could also just staple. I think I definitely want something here. I'll use the slot punch because I'm liking how that's looking, but I do staple a lot as well. I have my little stapler. Let's see. So the time, you know, the time constraint, or not constraint, where you spend your time on this one is getting your ephemera cut out. But look how quick and easy that was. Let's see, how long have we been filming? We've been only like 19 minutes. So, you know, you could sit down and in a half an hour, if you have some pieces or some scraps ready to play with, and have some really pretty items. So, again, other ideas using the pre-made collage, the tickets, these little frames look great. The pockets, just so many different things. I love that bow right there. And this dark green ribbon's pretty. All right, I hope you guys like the idea. I hope you will think about making some and just have a whole lot of fun like I did. All right, thanks for having me, Anna and Elena. And until next time, have a great crafty time, everybody. Thanks.